Here we have a Pioneer. It's a Z150BH, which I'm going to do a review on for you. This is the flagship in the 2014 lineup in Pioneer car video. What is included is right here laid out for you on the table. But before I tell you what is included, I want to make a little point of what isn't included, because I like to be thorough and honest in all my reviews, so that way you don't expect it to be something that it is not. Now, on a lot of the other units, like the 3600, 4600 models, etc., they come with USB extensions as well as wireless remote controls. That is not going to be the case in the flagship. It never has been for Pioneer. So if you do need an iPod cable, transfer cable, USB extension, or a wireless remote control, make sure you purchase that separately. But what you got in the box is a CD-VM1, which is the standard Bluetooth hands-free microphone they've been making forever. Over here you have the ISO mount screws, which are used to mount the unit sideways in a factory application. GPS antenna. You have a manual, also with a use guide on the computer ROM disc right there. Over here, 16-pin power speaker harness, and also be sure to check out my DVD bypass on the Z150BH, as well as the other model, the other flagship AV DVD receiver, because that was already up and running on YouTube. So if you're looking for that information, it's there. It's on my channel. Over here we have an extension for an AV analog cable right here, and over here this gigantic RCA preamp harness. I've already taken the liberty of straightening it out to some extent to show you what's what. Over here you have a rear dedicated monitor output, so that would be for like headrest or flip down visor monitors, whatever. Dedicated rear view camera input, rear monitor audio outputs, which would be used for like your IR transmitters for your headphones, etc. Steering wheel control interface. You have a stereo subwoofer preamp output, front and rear preamp outputs, and you also have your analog input as well as a telephone mute right there. Now I'm going to take you over to the unit, show you some measurements, and show you what's around the back. So now here we have the front fascia of this unit, and if you're doing like a custom installation, or if you just need to know the measurements and it's got to be right on, this is what this section of my tutorials is helpful for. This here is exactly 7 inches in width, overall width, from one end of the actual chassis to the other. As far as your height goes, you have 3 13/16 of height. Your face, which actually protrudes from the dashboard, if you're actually going to use a sleeve or you're going to mount it somehow and have this piece actually protrude, that's just over an inch, maybe an inch and 1/16 from here to here. Overall depth, you got 6, and we'll call it 7/16. Also, you know, add a little if you're worried about this heat sink and these other little protrusions in the back as well. Now here we are in the back of the unit. Right here, this here would be for the RCA preamp harness plug right there, which of course is included, and your power speaker harness. So just get those in there for you so you can get a good look at what it looks like in that respect. Now over here you have the harness plug for the Sirius V200, which is the SiriusXM satellite radio adapter. This here would be a USB input. Over here you have your analog antenna input. You have your steering wheel control interface, and you also have the plug here for the expandable iPod connector, and this one here is for the GPS. So that's it. That's the overview on the outside. Now I'll show you what this unit looks like once she's powered on. Now we're at the home screen on the Pioneer, with the typical layout with the 3 icons for the AV source, the phone for your Bluetooth, and your destination, which is for your GPS, of course. On the bottom, you'll notice that there's some new differences for 2014. Your apps, which I am not going to cover because we don't have the supplied cable. However, if you were going to use the apps, that would be a handy feature, because that would actually kind of work. I don't want to call it a mirror link feature because that wouldn't be true, but it does have a really good functionality where you can use all your most popular stuff from your phone, like your calendars, your contacts, and all kinds of other features that you use on your cell phone, your iPhone, and integrate it right onto your screen of your Pioneer, which is really nice. So expect to see a follow-up on that topic, but it's not going to happen today. Of course, you have your information screen. You're going to have all your tools for all your settings. Your Navi Settings. This is different, by the way. As far as the 2013 Z140 model, this is a totally different take on everything that I've seen in that review. So in that respect, if you're buying this and you're upgrading, I can tell you this, it's a lot new stuff to take on. So that's a good thing. And that's not something I could have said the year prior. This is all new. There's not a lot of swiping action as there was in the prior model. I can say that as well. And you'll have all these little sub tabs and lots of extra information. Now they have settings for your speed, different types of roads, all different kind of guidance options. City map, which is a totally new take. Gotta like a lot of these things. Your data edit button, all new. This is for all your prior history, how the unit will actually store all your prior entries. AV settings. This is not the true AV settings screen because this is based upon the sub menu of the Navi, but you can get in there and do some of these types of features. So your balance and fader, which is just the way it's always looked for Pioneer. Loudness, you're going to have it for low, mid, and high, as always. Well, first you have to turn it on, of course. Low, mid, and high. Nothing new happening there. EQ menu, you got an 8-band, which is customizable. Of course, you have the old classics, Pioneers, powerful, natural, vocal, flat, and you have 2 customizable settings for user 1 and user 2. What you do is hit customize. This can only be controlled in this one way also. You can hit up and down. You can't like take it and do this kind of a thing. It doesn't work that way. You have to go like that and go this way, which I'm not a huge fan of this. I've seen better from other manufacturers. I've even seen better in the same brand. I don't know why they did it this way, but it is what it is. And another thing is that this unit does not have the DSP, or the digital sound field processor, which I used to love. I used to think Pioneer had one of the greatest things going. Why they never brought it back, I don't know why. They haven't used it since I believe it was the AVIC-X930, I believe. That unit was really cool. And even the AVIC-D3 had it. The AVIC-D3 had it. That was a really cool radio. I mean, it was a step-down radio. It had nothing like this. No hard drive, big 7-inch screen, fancy la-di-da like this thing has. But I'll tell you, that one feature, that DSP, would have kept me as a customer for that old radio any day of the week. I thought that was really nice. For me, I'm an audio guy, so if you couldn't tell. HPF, that means high-pass filter. So what that means in English is you can actually have your interior speakers, say your front and rear speakers, with a bass blocker set at 80 hertz digitally, so that way everything 80 hertz and down will be blocked, and then you can go to your sub feature and have 80 hertz and down play on the subwoofer, or have 100 and have a bandpass filter and have it overlap, you know, that extra 20 hertz, whatever the story is. But that would give you the ability to block the low frequencies from certain speakers and emphasize them on others, like subwoofers, where they're designed to play subsonic frequencies. So that would be just another type of audio function, which is common on Pioneer. They've all had it. Even their regular single DIN standard radios that are started at $100 have that kind of stuff, but very useful. SLA is a sound level adjustment. So what that means is that on different sources you can have it so it doesn't like turn on really loud, like on a TV when you're watching a television and it's, let's say the loudness of my voice is right now, and then when a commercial comes on it comes out like 50% higher and drives you crazy. This allows you to adjust those different types of sounds so that way they're all equal. HPF is a high pass filter. I don't know why I'm touching that again. Bass booster. This here is going to give you, it's kind of like loud. It's kind of like a loudness feature, but it's slightly different. It's a little confusing for the novice guy who's working with sound and car stereos or home stereos. It's going to emphasize the lower frequencies, and it's designed to be utilized at lower volume levels, lower listening levels, because you don't want to overemphasize low frequencies at high volumes, because it's going to create excessive distortion and your system is not going to sound quite as well. But with a little care and a little understanding, this could be a very nice feature if used properly. Sonic level controller, I'm not going to really get into this because, you know, that's a whole nother thing, and I don't think you want to watch my videos for the next 30 minutes. So we'll get out of here. That's enough of that. Navi Settings. Road colors, this is just going to get you into the map, and you can change it from red to blue. I mean, these are all just personal settings, what you feel like. Landmarks, you can turn them on and off. Of course, everybody's going to turn those on because they look cool. The map, the barriers, day-night automatic display, so when you tie it into your parking lights, the screen goes dark. In the daytime, it goes white. Travel logs, you know, you can get in there if you go someplace you don't want the next person to see. You can get in there, delete it, of course, just like any other GPS. Source settings. This is going to allow you to turn on and off and toggle different sources, so that way they're not cluttering up your screens. Which you can see some are great and some are actually usable. System settings. This is how you pair your Bluetooth, how you set up what region you're in, what language you want to use. If you want, you know, GPS to be for a girl, a boy, French, English, Spanish, whatever your case is. Set your time. Splash screen. This is just going to be what you're going to see in the background. You can see right there. Pioneer. Preset 2, and you can see, you know, what they look like. Or there's an option right here, load from SD, so if you want to put in your own image, you could do it through the SD card, and how that's done is you hit this button, open it up, the screen will fall down, there's your SD card slot right there. That's what's going on right there. We'll get out of there. Enough for the splash screens. Rear monitor output. This you could turn on or off and have whatever source you want on mode 2. Controlled from the head unit in the front. Back camera settings. This is going to give you, this is very cool, the parking line assessment. That gives you the line, so you know, like, say you're 1 foot away, 3 feet away, 6 feet away from whatever's in the back of your vehicle. I think that's really cool. The camera, you can turn it on and off. Polarity, which is always going to be positive, because any car pretty much in the whole world works that way. The wire is going to rest the ground, switch to 12 volts, so leave that the way it is. Illumination color settings. You can scan and let it go through like its little rainbow fruit flavors if you want, or you could change the setting, customize it so it matches your interior perfectly. Nothing really too exciting there. Almost every radio does that these days. I'm not going to waste my time on that. But since I mentioned it, now I have to show you what's in there. Let's get on out of here. So there's that. The apps, like I said, we're not going to touch on because I don't have the cable. There will be a follow-up video because I only have so much time in a day. Now these here are all your icons on your home screen. So that way, what you could do is, all these things are customizable. This is very reminiscent of the Sonys. They have the same kind of a thing, and Pioneer picked up on it. I guess they're all doing this kind of thing. Well, you could change these, hold it, and drag it and move all these little icons, so that way your home screen can be customizable to your liking. So whatever it is you want to see up on here, these are your shortcuts. This is how you access them, and that's what's going on right there. But by default, AV mute, the mute button, you know, doesn't really need much description. Near me, override POI, which is point of interest. Return home button. Turn the source off. Your point of interest. Spell name, addresses. These are for GPS, of course. Dialing pad for your Bluetooth to make telephone calls. HD radio, home screen source. Enough said about that. Phone. I mean, really, what's there to talk about? I mean, the phone, everybody's been using phones for God knows how long. But your contacts, call history, redial, dial pad, all your settings are here. You can have several people using the same radio, and it'll learn and remember all your own entries, histories, contacts, the whole works. It's all right there. Destination, on your GPS, your home screen, which is just like this. Around yourself, point of interest, which is not set. Spell name, which is cool. Your state. Again, there's none of this, and that I don't like. I really would like to see it work with the slide, and unfortunately it's not that way, and I kind of don't like that. I'm not a fan of all this button pushing. So in that respect, I'm going to give this unit a very low mark. I don't like that. I don't like that. And it doesn't even give me an option or a shortcut to do the same function any other way. So shame on you, Pioneer, for not doing that. Addresses. house number, which is odd because usually they come in, they ask for the town first, then they ask you for the street, and then the house number. This unit, you can go and do any one of those things first, which I like. That's cool. There's your keypad. It's nice. I like. And you could change the keyboard, so if you want it to be old school, this is QWERTY, which is what most people use on their cell phones and stuff like that these days. Nobody uses this because all the buttons are weird. But at least they give you the options. That's nice. I like that. Near me, these here are also new. You can see these are the same. There's nothing new here. Finance is new. Sports, that's new. Health and medical, either they renamed that or they changed it from hospital. Shopping is old. Entertainment and tourism is new. So there's some differences. There's some new stuff going on. This is new. I mean, they definitely expanded this, and this is NAVTEQ software. So apparently, whatever NAVTEQ has done up to recently has changed this unit very much so. Now right here, I'm looking for a Best Western, which is close by me. Hopefully, the antenna works well enough for it to do its job. And right here, you have the address. Information button is going to give you the name, the address. You can hit the button, it'll call right there for you. Hit go here, change your route. You could also stop and make pit stops on your route, this type of unit in NAVTEQ software. Telephone numbers right there. And you can look at other ones going from nearest to farthest away. So this is very good. As far as GPS goes, this unit is no joke. This thing is good. I like this. Very rich with GPS. If this is what you're looking for, I gotta tell you, this thing's pretty hard to beat. It's hard because some of these units have, one has a telephone directory which is more robust, or a different mapping software, different map layouts, different graphics. I mean, it's hard. No one system has them all, but this unit is really, this is one of the better, that's for sure. As far as GPS, you'll never be disappointed with this Pioneer. Another thing about this Pioneer that I would like to mention is that they do also have the absence of a trim ring with this unit. So that way, if you are mounting this unit and you do need to have a piece, you would have to actually purchase one separately. And I want to zoom out just to show you, because there's very little room for error. If you mount this thing and it's not doing a factory ISO mount and you have a little bit of gap, you're going to have to come by our site and buy one, or go to Pioneer and let them milk you for some more money for this unit. But aside from that, this unit really does perform really well. As far as the controls, on the hand controls, like I showed, I'm not really crazy about all of them entirely. But as far as all the updates, map changes, how it's becoming more adaptive to phones, Androids, and apps, and expandability to the future, it's very nice. So if you're looking for a cool unit, give this one a look. This is the AVIC-Z150BH.